On three, commas. 1, 2, 3.
All right, now you're talking to me. That was good. All right, so let's get ready to take some notes. Some of the inherent difference between a residential loan and a commercial loan is once you cross over 4 units, your loans are commercial loans. So basically 5 units and up equates to a commercial loan. So everything that you've ever thought about financing, delete it from your mind. Okay, it's nothing like residential mortgages. Okay, completely different. It's not just straight up, I'm going to get a Fannie Mae loan, I'm going to get an FHA loan, you know, first time home buyer loan program. It's completely different. So the biggest difference is to know 5 units and up kind of dictates a commercial loan. Now, commercial loans can be done on smaller properties sometimes. Yes, there are instances like my 4-unit. It's a 3-unit with a mixed use, with a laundromat. So it's considered mixed use, which is considered commercial. Okay? So there are some exceptions to everything. The loan is made to the LLC that owns the property. So the borrower, or the borrower will be 123 Main Street LLC. That's who the bank is giving the loan to, and secured by the property that 123 Main Street LLC owns. But they may also require an additional guarantor, which would be you personally, or a partner personally. And we're going to talk through how to fill the gaps in if you don't have some of the requirements for financing. Okay? They will take into consideration the borrower or guarantor's personal income or financial condition. I don't want to mislead you like a lot of the commercial gurus will and tell you that, oh, commercial loans are great, you just go find a great big building for $5 million and as long as the deal makes sense, the bank's going to finance you. That's not how the world operates anymore. So I want to make you prepared today so you can fill in the pieces that you might need as you're establishing this business. So don't get nervous. It's not straight up W-2 driven either. First and foremost, the loan will be dictated by the NOI on the property. That's why this NOI is so important on a multitude of levels. It's going to dictate your cash-on-cash returns, your returns. It's going to dictate how much financing you can get on a property. You guys see why I kept saying NOI, NOI, NOI. Most important number in this business. Okay? The loan amount will be calculated based on the amount of NOI the property produces. So I'm going to walk you through the different, the main components. So this is where we're going to spend a lot of time on this. Anybody not familiar what LTV means? Loan to value. Okay, thank you. So loan to value means, in a simple example, I buy a property for $1 million and I get a $700,000 loan, I'm at a 70% loan to value of the property. Follow me? So in commercial loans, they typically will fall in between 65 and 80% max loan to value. So if I have a $1 million property, depending on the property and the lender, the most I will be able to borrow is $800,000, and at a bare minimum, you should be able to borrow $650,000. You understand how that works? 65 to 80%. So write that down for commercial loans. These are general parameters. We're going to talk about the multitude of options you have in a little bit. But I want to give you guys a little bit of a picture. So loan to value, 65 to 80% max loan to value. So I need to come up here to illustrate an example on this. So we got the LTVs down. The next and most important number when you're dealing with commercial financing is the debt service coverage ratio on the property. And I'm going to break that down. But I want you guys to write this down. DSCR. Debt service coverage ratio. What's the most important number on a property? NOI. Okay? Because this is where it's going to start to dictate. So write down 1.25 or greater. Now this does not mean that a property cannot get financed if it doesn't have 1.25 or greater debt service coverage ratio. This is going to get you the best possible financing that's in the market from a conventional lender. If property. So what that means is it's the relationship between our most important number, the NOI, and your annual debt service. So I'm going to just keep it simple and illustrate an example for you. I might need some help for those of you that have a calculator. I should, but. So my annual NOI, think about it this way first. Let me just back up. What this means is for every dollar of debt service or loan payment that I have to make on the property, I have to bring in $1.25 of net operating income. Does that put things in perspective now? Does that help? Yes? Everybody's with me? Yeah. Okay, so as we said, it's NOI divided by your annual debt service. So the simplest way, NOI divided by annual debt service. So what this would mean is, think about it this way, I have to have $1.25 of net operating income for every $1 of debt service that I have to pay out. Anybody still not with me? Be honest. Okay, I appreciate the honesty. So if my NOI is $125,000, I can't borrow more than $100,000 worth of debt service. Okay, so if a $1 million loan at 10%, to keep it simple, is costing me $100,000 a year to make my mortgage payments, I have to have at least $125,000 of net operating income. It's a good way when those of you that join the community, our analyzers run this for you. So when you put your assumptions in and you put your financing assumptions in, you're going to see what the debt service is. So if the debt service coverage ratio is only 0.90, that means you're trying to borrow too much money or you're paying too much for the property. So you need to bring your loan down, bring your purchase price down to get to a point where it's 1.25 or greater. It's like a litmus test for you to understand, like, okay, if I can buy a property that has $100,000 of NOI on it, I know my max loan could be $75,000. I don't know if it's the perfect math, but it would be $100,000 divided by $75,000 of debt payments. Am I confusing you guys more, or are you with me on that? Got it? Everybody's got it? Okay, excellent, because it's the most important number when it comes to finance.